Let me just say that right now, I'm hanging on the edge of my seat for Ghostbusters 5, hoping it gets greenlit after the seemingly mixed reaction from fans and critics alike regarding Frozen Kingdom. When it comes to Ghostbusters, those first two films, man, the original Ghostbusters and its 1989 sequel, they're not just films to me. They're like these sacred pieces of pop culture that perfectly nailed the whole mix of laughs, scares, and wholesome, heartfelt fun. And let's just say the 2016 reboot did not quite hit the mark for me. But Afterlife? That was like a beacon of light. Finally, a sequel that felt right. At least, somewhat right, I should say. Then Frozen Empire came out and kicked things up a notch, stoking the fires for what could come next. And though it still didn't quite reach the epic heights of the original two films, it came way closer in tone, spirit, and atmosphere than Afterlife ever did. Now, with the prospect of Ghostbusters 5 on the horizon, what I'm really craving is a return to the core of what made Ghostbusters so magical in the first place. It's gotta be back in New York City once again, as it was in Frozen Kingdom. NYC through and through, that's a must for me. That city isn't just a setting, am I right? It's a part of the Ghostbusters DNA, and that cannot be understated. NYC is as much a part of Ghostbusters as Slimer is, am I right? But here's the kicker. I want the spotlight firmly fixed on our original heroes, Ernie Hudson's Winston, Dan Aykroyd's Ray, and Bill Murray's Venkman. Their quick appearances in Afterlife were just a tease, glorified cameos at best, and while Frozen Empire gave us a lot more of them, it still just wasn't enough. In the next film, I want these guys front and center, driving the story forward. Let the new characters play a supporting role, adding to the legacy rather than overshadowing it. I'm sick of this new Hollywood thought process where main characters have to be young people. I just don't get it. I mean, I guess from a story standpoint, I understand the push, kind of, towards introducing new era of Ghostbusters, since the originals are technically getting pretty old at this point, but we need the original gang leading the charge, with the new members there to back them up, not the other way around. But anyways, I digress. Let's move on. Sigourney Weaver has got to make a comeback in an expanded role, and Rick Moranis, seeing him return as Janine's main squeeze would bring back that warmth and humor we loved from Ghostbusters 2, and would really help lock in that old school Ghostbusters feeling. And how about Slimer? Let's see him in more of those cat and mouse chase sequences with Trevor, but have him end up becoming a sort of friend and sidekick to both Trevor and the Ghostbusters team at large, sort of echoing his role in the real Ghostbusters cartoon. That would be awesome. Plus, bringing in the multicolored suits from the cartoon, at least for the original characters, would be an absolute treat. I don't know about you guys, but I'd be perfectly fine with the next film borrowing heavily from that cartoon, especially for the main villain, but we'll get to him in a moment. Going back to the Ghostbusters team at large, I want the dynamics between the original Ghostbusters and the new team to evolve greatly. Right now, they still kind of feel like strangers. By the end of Ghostbusters 5, they should feel like one big quirky family. And seriously, they better not even think about killing off any of the originals. I don't give a damn how old they are, don't do it. I'm also daydreaming of the Ecto-2 making a grand comeback, but with a twist. Imagine it revamped and powered up by Winston's team, cloaked in jet black paint job to embody the essence of a true hearse. The thought of both the iconic Ecto-1 and the newly revised, menacing at that, Ecto-2 roaring through the streets of NYC is nothing short of spectacular. The sight would be a perfect blend of nostalgia and modern prowess, thrilling fans and onlookers alike. In this envisioned version of Ghostbusters 5, I envision the narrative intricately weaving through the changing colors of fall, leading up to the movie's climactic crescendo on Halloween night itself, a time when the veil between the living and the dead is at its thinnest. At the heart of this atmospheric journey, and this is the part where I talk about the film's main villain, would be the introduction of Sam Hayne, or Samhain, the ghost of Halloween, an entity previously encountered only in the two Ghostbusters cartoons and comic books, but never in live action. Sam Hayne, or Samhain, with his deep-rooted ties to the season and a chilling agenda to usher in an eternal night, embodies the essence of Halloween itself. His strategic evilness and the ability to manipulate time introduce a palpable sense of urgency to the storyline, while his command over legions of ghosts, albeit with notable exceptions like Slimer, adds layers of complexity and intrigue to the spectral dynamics the Ghostbusters must navigate. Sort of similar to the ice god of Frozen Kingdom, but dissimilar enough to be captivating. Bringing Sam Hayne, or Samhain, to life in a live-action setting offers an unprecedented opportunity to delve into the rich folklore and traditions of Halloween, exploring themes of darkness, the supernatural, and the eternal battle between light and shadow, which would totally be in Ray's wheelhouse and would give his character so much to do in this movie. And as the Ghostbusters face this formidable foe, they are not just combating a specter, but are entrenched in a battle to preserve the balance of the natural and supernatural worlds at large. This whole ordeal would also highlight the enduring appeal of the Ghostbusters as defenders of humanity against the encroaching darkness, making Sam Hayne's transition from animation to live action a compelling and epic confrontation befitting the spirit of the season. Ghostbusters V, if greenlit, has the potential to be so much more than just another movie. It's an opportunity to celebrate everything we love about Ghostbusters, blending the old with the new in a way that feels both familiar and fresh. It's about creating a film that's a homecoming for not just the characters, but for us, the fans, who've been keeping the Ghostbusters spirit alive all these years. That is the dream.